So I want to talk about one practice which is very powerful to empower our prayers and spiritual practice. And this is the lighting of lamps. Lamps are called deepam in Sanskrit. Before any puja, people light lamps, the blessings of the devas. Many people don't know why, but they light the lamps. My guru had taught this practice, and he insisted that devotees keep ghee lamps burning constantly within their house. There are many different types of lamps which could be used, but the simplest form are the metal diyas sold at Indian stores. There are big standing lamps like this one, which goes down to the floor. These sort of lamp are popular for puja. This may be called a Kerala style lamp. There are many others similar to this. These are very good for puja. For keeping a lamp burning all the time, a lamp with a large bowl like this one can be very useful. This lamp also has a central piece for inserting a wick in, which keeps it from dripping over the sides. These can be very useful for keeping a lamp burning for a long time. If the bowl is big enough, then usually you can keep it burning all day long, all night long, just filling the bowl one time. You can check in the evening, check in the morning, and otherwise leave it somewhat unattended. Of course, if we're seeking blessings of the devas, it's wise to have something to put the lamp on. For pujas, we could use a simple plate like this one to catch drips and that sort of thing. For keeping a lamp burning all the time, if you're going for blessings, burning the house down is probably not the way to get the blessings. And so a larger container like this, you can put the lamp down in there, keep it well contained, keep it safe, keep it up high, away from children, away from animals. And then if a gust of wind comes, even if this lamp turns over, it's just going into the metal container. This is just like what you would buy aluminum or something from the supermarket for baking. It's traditional to use ghee in India. Ghee is a very suitable substance for using in oil lamps. However, ghee will solidify in cold temperatures, making it hard to burn. You have to warm up the ghee perhaps. On a very cold night, if you have the lamp burning, it even has a risk of maybe going out because the ghee will solidify instead of soaking up into the wick. So it is possible also to use high quality organic vegetable oils. Oils with a lot of nutritive substance are most suitable. Oils like sesame oil, coconut oil are very good because the pranas of the oil being offered is used by the devas from the inner plane to send blessings to the physical plane. For preparing a lamp, we can either buy wicks from the Indian store or online. You can buy little cotton wicks like this. And for most pujas, we would want to take 2 of these wicks, like so, and to twist them together. This is symbolic of the Ida, the energies of the Ida Nadi and the Pingala Nadi coming together in the Sushumna, and the light which is produced is symbolic of the spiritual light of illumination that comes when we balance those energies of Ida and Pingala, the right and the left hemispheres of the brain. And for making a lamp, we should twist the end so we have a little fine piece at the end there, like so. This makes it easier to light. This also gives us a smaller flame so that the lamp will burn for longer. If we have too big of a wick, it will burn, and all the oil will be gone in no time. It's also possible to buy organic cotton balls at the natural food store, and from these we can prepare wicks by taking a small piece and rolling it into a wick shape, like so. These also are suitable for using in the arti lamps used for waving light before the deities. We can make a piece for it to rest on so it will sit upright, and prepare a little wick coming up from that for lighting. So in an arti lamp we can prepare a wick in that way and soak that well in oil or ghee, like so, and it will sit like so with the wick piece coming up. And this has not been well prepared. We should have that tightly rolled, but it's a quick demonstration for you. Something more like this. And so there are mantras for lighting a lamp, which we'll show you. Om Shubham Karoti Kalyanam Arogyam Dhana Sambhata Shatru Buddhi Vinashaya Deepa Jyotik Namostute. Deepo Jyotik Param Brahma Deepo Jyotik Janardana. Deepo Haratu Me Papam Sandhya Deepam Namostute. Om Deepadevata Bhyo Namaha. And so we'll show you those mantras again with the Sanskrit text and the English transliteration so that you can learn that mantra and use it at home. Om Shubham Karoti Kalyanam Arogyam Dhana Sampadaha Shatru Buddhi Vinashaya Deepa Jyotik Namostute. Deepo Jyotik Param Brahma Deepo Jyotik Janardana. Deepo Haratu Me Papam Sandhya Deepam Namostute. Om Deepadevata Bhyo Namaha. And so now that we've lit the lamps, we have the blessing of the devas here assisting with this video. As I make a video, I talk about certain subjects, but this is not the point of the video. A spiritual teacher will talk about many subjects, but really spiritual knowledge, spiritual experience cannot be conveyed by words. You can describe something to a person that he's never seen. You can describe a tasty dish of food to that person, but without tasting it, he won't know what exactly you're talking about. He may get some vague idea, but he won't have the experience. And so when I talk, it's merely to entertain a person so that his mind remains engaged and his body remains firmly planted, until at some moment then the mind becomes still, at which point energetically we can transfer the knowledge there. And so for this particular video, we have the blessings of the devas assisting with us. This lamp I've just lit is almost gone out, and that's okay because we have this other one burning for that purpose. This has had just a little oil in it here. Sometimes it may mean something when the lamp burns out. This may be a sign from the devas that we need to offer more lamps, or we need to do those prayers again, or we need to be mindful. Maybe there's a message for us and we need to listen in particular. When putting out a lamp, they say you shouldn't blow it with the mouth. You shouldn't, because impure particles of spit and things may come onto the lamp, and since this is a holy sacred item, we don't want to blow it out like that. They say that we can put it out with the hand like this. That may take some practice. While you're practicing, you'll probably knock over 20 lamps, so be careful as you practice that move. The priests in the temple do that effortlessly, it seems, but they've practiced for many years, so as you do that, be careful, because the lamp will be coming over as you hit the lamp, probably as you're learning that technique. Or the other option, which a lot of people prefer, is to take a flower. This one is dry, which would not be ideal. That may just catch on fire. But with a fresh flower, you can snuff it out. Or even perhaps you could use a candle snuffer, but usually in India we would use a flower. Or to just use the hand. And that's considered okay to put out the lamp in that way whenever you need to put it out. And the wick should be changed regularly. There could be some potential danger if we don't change the wick often enough, that black pieces of soot of the wick which is burnt up can be burning there. If it burns for too long, those pieces will start to break off the wick, and so those pieces can sometimes fly out across the room. When we use a fresh wick, there's not much concern about this. But if you reuse a wick too many times, you may want to be careful and to know that flying pieces of burning wick could be sent out from the lamp as the wick continues to burn down. So we should use a clean wick when we can, or at least to take off that burnt up piece if we're reusing a wick. Also, it's good to keep everything you ever use for prayer very clean, meticulously clean. They say that Rahu and Ketu are attracted by the dust and the dirt, and that negative spiritual forces can be attracted by the dust and the dirt. And so we keep everything clean. After using the lamp, ideally, we should wash it out and maybe switch in another lamp. To have two in rotation in that way could be a very good idea. But the reason for burning a lamp in a puja, or burning a lamp in any place you do a spiritual practice, where you do your meditation, where you do mantra japa, where you do puja, where you do yoga practice, we should always keep a lamp burning all the time if possible. If not, at least when you sit to do your yoga, when you sit to do a puja or a meditation or a mantra practice, this is a very useful technique. Each of us have guardian devas, guardian angels, so to speak. Each of us have a guru. If you're watching this video, you have a guru. May not be me, but if you are inclined toward thinking these spiritual thoughts, then some guru is most likely working with you. You may not have met your guru yet. You may not have encountered your guru in physical form. You may not have seen the teachings of your guru, but your guru is still working with you. And the many devas working with the lineage of your guru from the inner planes, they are working with you. So the task of the devas in the inner planes is to help us and to bless us. Yet we must be open to their blessing. We are here in the physical realm, and they are in the spiritual realm. And just as we have trouble to see them, perhaps, they may have trouble to see us. This is one reason that we wear the vibhuti, the white ash, all the time, is that they say it creates a window through which the devas can see into the physical realm. So the person wearing the vibhuti is seen much more easily by the devas. When we offer the light, they say that the pranas, the nutritive essence of that oil being offered, goes into the spiritual realm. Or more so that the act of offering and that the prayer opens a channel so that the devas in the spiritual realm can use that physical substance, use the pranas of the oil to send blessings into the physical realm. And this is why it's important that we don't use low quality oil from the supermarket, vegetable oil with toxic chemicals, or oils without much nutritive substance like canola oil, safflower oil, the oils which have very tonic properties have the most pranas. So we get the most of offering an oil like sesame oil, coconut oil, or the best of all is ghee. But the ghee should be organic, should come from cows which have been treated very well. Otherwise, the ghee being offered has a impure energy already, and this act of using it in worship may serve to increase and intensify the negative energies. That's why it's important to use organic substances, especially in prayer, in puja. But they say that through the pranas, the devas send blessings to the people. They send positive energy to the space. They can work on the space where the lamp is burnt. And so my guru had suggested that we always keep a ghee lamp burning in a house where people are doing spiritual practice so that we can have that devanic assistance. Also, they say that a guru can work much more through an offering like this. Though a guru is existing everywhere throughout the universe, and the guru can make himself known to people in a distant place, and he can affect events in a distant place. It's generally the nature of a guru to sit back because the guru hasn't created the karmas of a person. And so it doesn't benefit that person for the guru to take them away. It's not really his job. The guru can give advice to empower the practice of a student, but really the student must do the work. If the student did the work to create the karmas, it's more meaningful, more useful for him to do the work, to undo the karmas. But the guru does send blessings to make that possible. And the guru sends energetic assistance to stabilize the devotees in their practice. Yet if a person has karma, they've got a block to receiving the grace of the guru. And so by making the sacrifice, by making the offering, a person works for some time and gets some money and goes and buys the oil. So it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice of time. And it's a prayer. It's an act of prayer, which is like an affirmation. When we pray, we undo the negative thought patterns. And that shifts our karmas. It shifts our feelings about the world, and it shifts our experiences in the world also. And so through the offering of a lamp, it's much easier for the guru to send blessings and to be there. If the guru's not there physically with the student, the guru can be there much more physically through he sends the blessings as the devas do through the ghee lamp. Also, if a person distantly needs to communicate with their guru, it can be a helpful tool to light a lamp. Of course, having a photo of the guru there. I have one photo of my guru Dakshinamurti there on this table back there. I don't know if you can see. But to have a photo is very useful because it's a good centering tool to focus, to connect energetically. Most of us need a centering tool like this to connect with a guru. But even then, if our power of telepathic communication is not so strong, using the ghee lamp can be very useful. Because as we ask a question, though we may not project it very well to the guru, and the guru may not be consciously conscious of this question, on some level he knows, he answers the question. But being conscious of something is different. Being physically engaged in an act is different than having it happen. If a person wants a specific answer, it can be good to physically ask the Guru. Call him on the telephone, write him the email, go to physically visit him, even better. But if that's not possible, or if you need an answer quickly, light the lamp, focus on the picture. Because when you ask the question, the devas working with that Guru will go and take the question to the Guru. And then the Guru will send the answer and send the blessings, and the devas will carry it back. And through this channel of the lamp, energies are sent to a person. I had one student, I remember it was kind of funny. I was sitting talking with one student, sitting physically talking. They were talking, I said, hold on, excuse me, I'm talking to someone here, hold on. And I started talking, and they're like, what? Who is he talking to? We don't see anybody. And I said, yeah, it's 625-4324. Started saying my telephone number. I said, yeah. And I said, okay, sorry. I started talking to this person again. They're like, who are you talking to? I said, that's my student. She was asking for my telephone number. And so I told her. I said, I don't know why she's asking. I think she has my number. But then a minute later, we started talking again. And then a minute later I said, excuse me. No, not 7, 4. And so I went back to talking. Then my phone rings, and this student, she says, Swamiji, I lost your phone number. I lost my phone. I had your phone number, but my phone got destroyed, and I had to get a new phone, and so I lost all my phone numbers, and I really needed to ask you this question, and I didn't know how to contact you, but I remembered you said if you ever have a question and you can't contact me, you just sit, you look at the photo, you focus, you ask me the question, I'll hear you, I'll answer. And she said, I asked you the question, and then I didn't hear anything. I focused and I asked you the question, and then I heard the phone number. She said, I got it wrong the first time. Then I asked again. I heard it, I got it right, and so I'm calling you. And I said, okay, wonderful, great. But I'm sitting talking with someone. Can I call you back? And she said, fine, great. This young woman has a great deal of intuition, and so telepathic communication like that for her is not so much of a difficulty. She has a great deal of faith and a great ability to focus. But for others of us, if we need to get a message to someone, to the Guru, to someone, it's a good way. We can use the ghee lamp and ask the devas to assist us. A person who is not so intuitive, they may not be consciously aware, yet they get the message. The blessings are sent. If we need to connect with someone for a positive reason, this can be helpful. Of course, we shouldn't start asking to change them. We shouldn't start trying to affect them or to hurt them or to stop them from doing things that they think they want to do, because this is jadoo, black magic. Instead, the devas won't be coming to help you. It will be the asuras. And they say that that's very bad karma for everyone involved. And so probably not a good idea to be sending messages to people. They won't be aware anyway. Just pray. Pray to God to bless them, help them. But it can be done, and with your Guru, it's a good way to communicate, to get the blessings. We all wish that our Guru could be in our house all the time. I certainly do wish that my Guru would physically... I'm not really, I don't even, my Guru needs to be out doing things. I'm happy I see my Gurus here all the time. But I would be very happy if the Guru was physically here too. And so if the physical presence is not there, we can have the spiritual presence, at least, through the ghee lamp. But it's a very powerful practice. It can be easy to think, well, it's not a big deal. But it makes a huge difference. And I was showed that by the grace of the devas at the time I decided to start the practice. Many years ago, I was living with 2 roommates in one house, and I was working a job. I'm struggling some to make ends meet, but for the first time I could fulfill the recommendation of my Guruji at that time to keep a separate room in the house for puja. These roommates said, okay, you want a puja room? Yeah, then you have this extra closet here. This is your puja room. There was a closet at the end of the hallway, just a big walk-in closet. And so I set up my Ganapati statue, and I would go there every day and do lots of puja. And in that room I started to keep for the first time one ghee lamp burning all the time, night and day. It's also a good consideration, if it's at all possible, you don't want to keep your space for prayer and meditation and yoga in your bedroom. People do not live in a temple, and people do not do puja or spiritual practice in a bedroom. Another room in the house is good. The kitchen, a cabinet there if you have little space. Ideally, keep a separate room. Keep a whole room. I'm impressed by many Indian families. They work hard. They get the big beautiful house so that they can have one full-size bedroom just for the God there in their house. That's their puja room. They can do a full yoga practice there. No other tasks are ever done in that room. It's just a beautifully decorated puja room. It's the most beautiful room in most of these people's house. It's wonderful. That's the ideal, but we can't all afford to do that. But at least try not to keep your place where you do meditation, spiritual practice, puja, in the same room that a person sleeps in. Because one of 2 things will happen. More likely, probably, you just as you try to do your puja, you fall asleep. That the energy of sleep there in that room will keep the spiritual energy from building up. But in other cases, the spiritual energy does build up, and then it becomes impossible to sleep in the room. You go in that room and the spiritual energies are working on you. And spiritual energy is very much like medicine. If we have a little bit, it can help us, it can heal us, it helps us work through our karma. If we have too much, it will surely kill a person. And this is the reason they don't recommend a person live in a temple, and that they don't recommend that a person do temple pujas in their house, and they don't recommend that a person do the puja in their bedroom. Better to do it in a space where people can come and go from, but that they don't have to stay there for 8 hours, for 7 hours through the night. Also, they say you shouldn't keep a statue that's too tall in the house. For most houses, the largest you would ever want is 12-inch statue. Taller than this, the Shakti, the energy will build up too much, and it won't be a conducive space for human life to have a puja image there that's that big. Maybe as a sculpture, as an inspirational piece, it's okay, but for offering the worship, doing the daily bathing rituals, the energy there will build up, it will be too intense. And so we should have smaller statues in our home temples. But when I started to burn this ghee lamp, I think the devas must have wanted to show me just how powerful this practice was, just how much it enabled them to affect the physical realm. Because as soon as I started to burn this ghee lamp, things started to move throughout the house. Sometimes small objects, like pictures, sometimes big objects. One thing that happened in those days, when I would be going out, sometimes I would forget the things I needed. I'd be going to the bank, but I forget my wallet. And so I started to notice that the wallet I forgot would be placed at the front door, so I would see it as I went out. Sometimes it was meaningful things like that. Sometimes in the puja room, the photos would move. One photo of Shiva would move to a prominent place on the altar. And then I would look at it and get the feeling, I need to say some Shiva mantras today. Or sometimes a photo would fall off of the wall while I was doing my puja. And I'd say, maybe Shiva has a message for me. One time I think Lakshmi fell off the wall and she fell on my head. Boom! It's like, wake up, we're trying to tell you. from across the room, practically. But in other cases, big objects were moving. In one case, a chair moved from upstairs to downstairs. No apparent reason, it just moved. I think the devas were trying to say, hey, look what we can do when you offer these pranas. See how much we can affect the physical realm. In those days, many guests were afraid to come into our house. One roommate was very, very comfortable with this. He did a lot of meditation and a lot of inner communication with the devas. And so he always felt like it was a beautiful sign when he saw this. He said it was comforting to see things moving around the house to him. The other roommate didn't do as much meditation at that time. And so this roommate was a little bit startled by it, a little bit uncomfortable by it. But certain people would refuse to come into the house because they would come and then they'd hang their coat on the chair, but then the coat would go and be on the coat rack. They'd turn around and the coat's gone. They look on the coat rack. They say, someone moved the coat. Who is here? They're looking around the house. They say, there's spiritual forces in here. We don't know what to make of this. We're afraid of this. But this continued for a few months when I started that practice. And then it stopped. Because that was not the purpose of the practice, really. For the devas to move around people's coats. But for some time as that practice started, the devas were moving amazing things in amazing ways to show us just how powerful that practice of offering the ghee lamp is. It doesn't have to be ghee, it can be sesame oil, is very good. But I recall that in that time I got the thought, if the devas can do this much to move around a chair from upstairs to downstairs, I can only imagine what they can do to work on a person inside, to help them with their karmas. Each day, many objects were moving around like this. So I assure you, even if you don't see any signs like this, when you burn this lamp, each day many things are moving around inside of you. It's not the point to have an experience like this. Maybe if you need it, the devas will show you. But it's better if you don't need it. It's better if you just have the faith and the appreciation of the practice. Many Indian families do this practice every day. They light the lamp when they do a puja, but they don't know why. Perhaps now they know why, and that will help them to open to the blessings, to listen to the messages from the devas, listen to the messages from their guru, and to remain open to the blessings being sent to them, which shift their consciousness, and shift their aura, and shift their inner being toward expanded consciousness and an expanded sense of self. Om. Om uddihipya svajata vedo pakshmam niharitim mama pasogascha mahyamavaha jivanam chatisho disha mano hikumsi jata vedo kamashvam purusham chakate abhibhratakna agahi sriyama paripataya. Om